Idea Space, Part 2. Part 1 briefly covered what is Idea Space and introduced Portals Plus and UniML and explained a bit on what they're intended to do, but not so much on how they do it, which is the subject of Part 2. But where to start? Why, of course, with ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, what is an object?
An object is a discrete and tangible entity that has properties, attributes, and behaviors, and can be used to represent or encapsulate data and functionality in programming.
Great. Now, what is an entity?
An entity refers to a distinct and individual thing or concept that exists and can be identified within a particular context or system.
So what is the difference between an object and an entity?
The main difference between an object and an entity is that an object is typically used in the context of programming, representing a specific instance with properties and behaviors, whereas an entity is a broader term referring to any distinct and identifiable thing or concept within a system or context, not limited to programming.
Love the accent, but typically, Thus would feelings such as love or hate be entities?
Yes, feelings such as love or hate can be considered entities. While they may not be tangible or physically observable, they are distinct and identifiable concepts that exist within the realm of human emotions and experiences. Entities can encompass a wide range of things, including abstract concepts, ideas, or intangible phenomena.
Interesting. So the term entity could refer to objects, elements, sets, properties, attributes, and nodes, to name a few.
Yes, the term entity can encompass objects, elements, sets, properties, attributes, and nodes.
Thanks. I think I'll go with the term entities.
You're welcome. Glad to be of help.
Take note.
In UniML, an entity is denoted by the symbol called a saltwater white pearl. And here is an example of one. Pretty underwhelming, isn't it? Just a white dot. But it's not the shape of the symbol that's important, rather it's what that symbol denotes. That is, an entity.
And, as ChatGPT said, the term entity can encompass objects, elements, sets, properties, attributes, and nodes.
So this is an example of a UniML saltwater white pearl, which denotes an entity. And here is this white pearl's name bubble, Rene Descartes. And this is a bookmark that connects the white pearl entity called Rene Descartes to the actual Rene Descartes, or at least a drawing of him.
I have my very own saltwater white pearl, which makes me an entity. Therefore, according to ChatGPT, I might exist. Albeit, perhaps just as an abstract entity, but an entity nonetheless.
Though hopefully as an actual departed spirit in heaven, and not just someone who was and is no more other than a memory, and of course legacy, and a rich one at that.
Rene Descartes, the influential French philosopher, mathematician, and scientist, left a lasting legacy through his development of modern philosophy, Cartesian coordinates in mathematics, and his impact on the scientific method.
Thanks, ChatGPT, for adding that brief summary.
You're welcome.
And back to UniML. This is a string in UniML on which all white pearls reside, including saltwater white pearls, as shown here by the green arrow with a little diamond labeled 1, which by the way is called a footnote, where a comment bubble, like the orange one shown here, could have one or more footnotes or none at all. I'll go into more detail on comment bubbles probably in part 3. So in summary, UniML white pearls function much like the actual pearls on a real string of pearls as shown here by the blue arrow labeled 2. And a string can have lots of white pearls and of various types or saltiness. But the details of these, too, will have to wait till part 3. But one can see more details on my Padlet virtual corkboard. A link will be provided in the description box. And the background music here is one of my improvs, and you can find that on another one of my virtual cork boards. And the title of it is Doubly Prepared. And that's all for part 2. Bye.
And bye from me, Amy, your friendly ChatGPT narrator.